Jackson, and I've got another exciting episode on your favourite book, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Positive Dog Training. And today we're going to teach your dog how to do a stay from the Idiot's Guide. Now, I'll just put on my positive dog training glasses so I can read the pages. Now we'll get straight into it. And I've also done a little bit of training with another dog this week using positive only training methods. And I'll go into that. But anyway, straight into it. How to teach the dog to stay from the Positive Dog Training book. Okay. There are many positive methods for teaching stay. However, I found one method to be most effective. It was developed by the trainers at SeaWorld. This is how they teach stay to the animals they work with. I call it the Shamoo Stays method. That's a Shamoo Stays method. It works extremely well for sit, down and stand. You just shamoo it. This is really, really cool. Heck, if it's good enough for killer whales, sea lions, sea otters and dolphins, it's good enough for Fido. But I thought SeaWorld, they get these animals that are really social, they stick them into isolation tanks, they bribe them with the food, and they put all these negatives in place so then they can teach positive only. But anyway, that's I'm a dog trainer, not a dolphin trainer. Okay, and Shamoo, okay, get this, there's a little footnote here. The Shamoo Stays method only sounds really confusing. It's actually easy to train. Read it over 2 or 3 times before saying that the author is stupid. It did take me 3 times to figure that out, I can tell you that. Anyway, we'll start on how to teach your dog to stay. Ask your dog to sit down and don't say stay. Don't say it. You just say sit or down. Step right in front of him. Start the timer. So we've got to have a timer with it for the stay. But we're not telling him to stay. We just have a timer. Timer. Say, stand there passively. Do not be aggressively in front of the dog. Just stand there passively, and you've got to have a timer, a stopwatch. Stop the timer the instant your dog gets up. Don't say anything when he breaks the sit or down. So you put him in a sit stay, you got your timer. The moment the dog wants to get up, you go and press it to see how long. Let's say 4 seconds or something like that, okay? Repeat this 3 times. Take the lowest time, for example, 4 seconds. And that's your dog's threshold, which is where you start. So when the dog gets up after 4 seconds, that is his threshold. Now, teaching the stays. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. This is the high-tech stuff of the Idiot's Guide to Positive Dog Training. Take the dog's threshold time and subtract 1 second. Using our previous example, now you have 3 seconds. That's the time in which you'll remind the dog to stay. But we haven't even told the dog to stay. We've told him to sit and we're told not to say, don't say stay. And now we're going to remind him to stay, but he's never heard the word stay before. So anyway, we remind the dog to stay, even though he's never heard the word, but we're going to give it to him at 3 seconds. The reason you subtract 1 second is that 1 second before the dog broke the stay. Then multiply 3 seconds by 2, which equals 6 seconds. At 6 seconds, you click and treat. Then you release to start a new trial. Do this so the dog is successful 3 times in a row, then move on to the next level. So you get the dog, you put him in a sit stay, you get your timer, and at 3 seconds, you click it and go, food reward, click and treat, there's your reward. Then you do it at 6 seconds, okay? Something like that anyway. So take it to the next level. Now, we'll get on to the next exciting part about this, okay? Watch for distraction levels as well. Start with no or low distractions and gradually increase the distractions once you build up to the time level you want and you need. So we should have the dog sitting and staying 3 times in a row at 6 seconds, and now there's distractions. If your dog breaks at any point, you must ignore him. Oh, isn't that the golden rule for all positive dog training? You've got to ignore the dog. Oh, it's the old nugget, that one, isn't it? Oh, beautiful. Okay, ignore him for about 15 seconds and then just restart the session. So the dog's sitting there, he decides to get up and walk away, and you ignore him, and lucky you got a timer because you got to time yourself to shut up for 15 seconds, dog walks off, and then you do another one. Okay, so that's how you do that. Okay. During the beginning stages of training, it helps to have someone hold the timer for you. telling you when to remind and when to click and treat. That is because you're an idiot, because you can't even count 3. 3 seconds, click and treat. So you need to get someone who is standing there to hold the stopwatch and go, that's 3 seconds, so they can click and go, oh yeah, now I've got to click and treat the dog. Okay, so that's what you do because you're too stupid to count to 3. Okay. Once you've built up to more than 18 seconds, it's easier for you to do it by yourself, so we don't need the timer man anymore, the timer person. Okay, right, now here's the next one. Be sure that once you start higher intensity of distractions, you go back to level 1 of the time chart. So then you go back to 4 seconds and we're doing distractions and things like that. Okay, so, all right. Adding distractions, let's have a look at this. The dreaded distractions, the list is endless. Kids, bikes, cars, dogs, people, birds, squirrels, and deer. You name it, it can be a distraction. Start out with mild distractions. Say one other person walking around slowly. Then have that person walk faster. Then jog. So now you've got the person jogging around you. And then run. And then you tell the person to run. And the dog still only knows how to sit for like a few seconds anyway. Then add another person and another. So now you've got your dog that sits in a quiet environment for 18 seconds after a week's training, and now you've got 3 people sprinting around in circles with you, and one of them with a stopwatch in his hand. You can start to add toys, not teasing the dog, and other types of distractions. Always be sure you add them slowly and always set the dog up for success. So you've got a dog that just learnt the word stay, only stays for 18 seconds, and now you've got 3 crazy people running around in circles, squeaking toys, things like that, and you're setting the dog up for success. Okay, right. So we go back to level 1 of the time of the chart, which is, say, 4 seconds. If the dog breaks, say to yourself, no big deal. So the dog breaks, no big deal. They're just people running around in circles, no big deal. And just try again. Please stay away from any verbal corrections. Silence works best. So what they're saying is that when the dog gets up and breaks, let's get this right. So the dog stays for 4 seconds, so you set the timer for 3 seconds. Then you get someone else with the timer to time it to when it goes to 3 seconds for when you click and treat the dog. And then if the dog gets up, you cannot say anything to the dog. You've got to be silent, you've got to be passive, you can't be aggressive at all. So you're passive, you're silent, and the dog gets up, and then you get the timer person to time 15 seconds, and then at 15 seconds, then you go and repeat it again. So the dog gets up, you say nothing, he walks around 15 seconds, and then you go back and do it again. And then straight after that, you then get 3 people to walk, then jog, then run around in circles. Once that dog can stay for about 18 seconds, and introduce those distractions so the dog's set up for success. So that, in a nutshell, is the complete guide on how to train your dog the positive only way of teaching to stay. Isn't that amazing? Okay, now I've got a special surprise for you. I've had a dog and I've been practicing on the positive only training methods on teaching to stay. Sit, up, sit, up, stay. Oh, she's moving with the other one. Now, how do I stop this? She's breaking the stay and trying to get the other dog's food. So I've got to say nothing to her, ignore her. Sit. Good girl. Now try to feed one dog. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, good girl. Sit. Stay. 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 Sit. Stay. Stay. That's only 1 second. Stay. Sit. Stay. Stay. Sit. Stay. Oh. Stay. 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 Sit. So I have here 3 tools that I can actually train the dog to stay on. Now this is a choke chain, and the RSPCA don't like that. They think they're really cruel and everything like this because the dog can actually choke on it. Then I've got this one here, which is a fantastic tool. It's the same thing made of like a string. This came from Sydney Aaron's, and he does a great job making these leads. So these are actually fantastic, but what I'm going to use today is the rope that was used by the RSPCA. This is the RSPCA choke rope. See, it goes like this, and that way if the dog's pulling, the dog's going to choke, and at least with rope, he is going to choke in comfort. So now I'm going to actually do a training session that requires a correction and a lead. So after a week's worth of training and the dog doesn't know bugger all, I'm actually going to do it with using a form of correction and change 1 week of training into like 1 session. Good girl, stay, stay, good stay, 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 good stay. You're a good stay, you're a good stay. Now I want her to move, good stay, up, stay. And see that? That was a correction, but it was on an RSPCA choke rope. Stay, stay, but the RSPCA aren't allowed to do corrections. So now stay, stay, stay. I'll stick up the ante a little bit. Stay, stay, good girl, good stay, good stay, good stay, stay, stay. Now I'm going to start whistling. Stay, 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 good stay, good stay, good stay, good stay. Come on, come on, come on, come on, good stay, good stay. Stay, 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 stay. Stay, 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 stay. Oh shit, okay, all right, I'll up the end again. Stay, stay, stay. Now I want her to move. Stay, stay. Stay, stay, stay. Yes, good girl, good stay. You're a good stay, you're a good stay. Let's throw that down. Ah! There we go. I gave you a verbal correction, which is associated with a correction on the choke rope. And now you're staying in there. Good fella, how long does this take us to learn? A couple of seconds, isn't it? Stay. Good stay. You're a good stay. You're a good stay. 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 Okay, good Bob. Stay. 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 Now I want her to move again. See if she does. Stay. 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 Oh, it's hard to resist, isn't it? Stay. Stay. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Stay. Good stay. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Stay. 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 Good stay. 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 Good stay. Good stay. 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 Oh yeah, you're good stay, good stay. Stay, good stay, good stay, good. So that's how fast you can teach your dog to stay. I know, you're a good fella. Or a week's worth of training with positive only training methods. It's not against positive training, I think it's a great thing, positive training, but you've got to teach your dog boundaries. And these boundaries sometimes need a correction, whether it's on a check chain or a choke rope. You teach a behaviour and you get the behaviours a lot quicker. So you can turn a week's worth of training into like 1 session. Good fella, good fella. And a week of doing the methodology from the positive dog training book, dog still doesn't stay.